What is cloud chasing? It's exactly what it sounds like, trying to produce big, thick white plumes of vapor. But it's really much more than that. You see, the average vapors don't realize how much technique goes into cloud chasing. A lot, let me tell you. Analogy, swimming. You got breaststroke, backstroke, butterfly, freestyle. All these are different styles of swimming. Okay, the butterfly, for example, it's a more difficult stroke which requires a more efficient technique to master it. Same goes for cloud chasing. Just like the butterfly, there is a lot of technique involved, to the point where it can be considered an art form. See, a lot of people don't realize how much technique is involved. I mean, it's hard. A lot of you guys out there, you're watching this and you're going, oh, those cloud chasers, they're just chasing the clouds, bunch of morons. There's nothing to it. Not true, okay? And you know what? It took me a while to figure that out. And I didn't figure that out until I went full balls to the wall cloud chasing. Kurt, if you don't know Kurt Loblich is the guy who owns Cloud Chasers Incorporated. He's got a Facebook fan group. Here's the link right here. The guy showed me the way as far as cloud chasing, and I gotta give major props to him. I gotta give major props to Leo. Gotta give major props to Tucker the Beast, and more. Many, many more. Many more of you guys who are in this wholeheartedly, serious, balls to the wall. Props goes to you guys. This stuff, cloud chasing, can take months and months and months to perfect. Now, while it's not really my cup of tea, like I said, I've been doing this cloud chasing for the past month. And I'm talking about real cloud chasing. Not just getting your regular old RDA, your Zenith, your Atomic, your Patriot, putting a build in there and trying to chuck clouds. There's much more to it. Many different factors. Even though it's not my cup of tea, I wanted to share this with you guys because there's a lot that goes into this. And there's hard work. These guys work hard. There's competitions all over the country. I'll go into that in a second. But another great thing about cloud chasing is it's a niche within a niche. Vaping is a niche right now. But the great thing about vaping, the number one thing is it's a healthier alternative to smoking. It gets you off the tobacco. You get your nicotine fix, and it's a healthier alternative. From the research that I've done, these cloud chasers, they're not chasing the nicotine anymore. They're chasing those clouds. And when you combine something, those factors, and you put all those factors into one and get it perfected, and like I said, it takes months and months and months. But when you perfect it, you're able to produce something quite extraordinary. Back to cloud chasing competitions. There are competitions all over the country. Different vaping events, brick and mortars. This thing, as we know it, cloud chasing, is growing rapidly. Who knows? It may become a sport event someday. There are 9 different key factors to cloud chasing. 1, battery safety. You guys have got to use the safest batteries. I recommend VTC3s, VTC4s, or VTC5s. Right now in this unregulated box mod, I've got 2 VTC5s. There's a few other brands I'll list in the description as well. 2, airflow. Airflow is a biggie. All these are biggies. Airflow is a biggie though. 3, type of juice you're using. 4, the type of mod you are using. 5, the type of atomizer you're using. Okay, when you're cloud chasing, you gotta be using a dripper. I recommend using a dripper anyways. 6, body posture / inhale, exhale techniques. 7, wicking. 8, the coil build you have under the hood. And 9, genetics. This is how it's gonna work. I'm going to cut this into 3 different segments. The video you're watching right now is Cloud Chasers 101 Part 1. Tonight, I'm going to be going over airflow, type of juice you're using, and the type of mod you're using. Then in the next segment, in the next video, Cloud Chasers 101 Part 2, I'm going to go over 3 more of those factors, and then in the third segment, the 3 more of the factors. I'm going to cover all 9 factors within 3 segments. First thing we're going to talk about is airflow. What I want to do is dive down and show you guys what I've been working with, the RDA that I've been using, the different top caps that I've been using, so you can see what I'm talking about. Quick close-up. Airflow, airflow, airflow. Just like I mentioned, one of the 8 key factors is airflow. A big thank you goes out to Cloud Chasers Incorporated. Kurt, if you're watching this, thanks, brother. Kurt's the guy who owns Cloud Chasers Incorporated, and he sent me this dripper plus 2 extra top caps. Yeah, buddy. And as you can see on the barrels, it says Cloud Chasers Incorporated. Sick as tits! As you guys can see, here is the deck. The build I have on here today is a dual sleeper parallel build. Not going to go into the build today. That's going to be in part 2. But here's the deck. 510 threadings, buttery smooth, stainless steel 510 connection. But that's not what I'm going to be going into today. He sent me 2 extra barrels with holes punched, which I'm going to be going over. First barrel, 4 holes punched on both sides. Second barrel, 6 holes punched on one side diagonal, and then 6 holes punched diagonal on the other side. And then the last barrel's got 8 holes punched diagonal on one side, 8 holes punched diagonal on the other side. The top cap with the 4 holes are for your builders who like to build between 0.2 and 0.3 ohms. The top cap with the 6 holes are for your builders who like to build between 0.12 and 0.19 ohms. And then the top cap with the 8 holes are for your builders who like to build 0.11 and lower. Right now I've got a 0.06 build, this dual sleeper build, 0.06. So what I'm going to be using today is the top cap with the 8 holes punched diagonal on each side. And how it works is, once you've saturated those wicks and coils with juice, then what you're going to want to do is line up the 2 bottom holes on each side in front of each coil. Directly in front. Pow. So the build I have in here is reading at 0.06 ohms. The top cap I have on here is the 8 holes punched on each side diagonal. Remember, you want to have those 2 holes at the bottom covering each coil. And she's a chuckin'. You know what they say, the more airflow, the more vapor production. But it is possible to have too much airflow, and with too much airflow, you lose vapor density. And the guys that win these competitions, they have that vapor density. You cannot see through the vapor. Now the reason why you have those 2 holes at the bottom facing each coil is because that's all you need to keep the coil cool. But not too cool. You don't want it too cool. And then the holes above it, diagonal, those holes keep that vapor to where it stays cool and not too hot. Okay, it's a happy medium. Because when you're vaping at such a sub-ohm level, like 0.06, without this airflow setup, there's no way in hell I'd be able to do it. I mean, it would be blazing hot. But surprisingly, I'll put it to you this way, I've vaped on much hotter setups with higher resistance setups, and it's all due to the airflow. The airflow has moderated that heat. That airflow has spread the heat out to where it's just right. It's comfortable. The holes at an angle on each side of the top cap, those holes are creating a spiral within the chamber, which then helps keep the vapor cool and more dense within this top cap. It is a great design. I noticed a huge difference between these type of top caps that Kurt's drilled out for me and other top caps that I've used, other stock top caps that I've used in the past. Big difference. Type of juice. The only type of juice that I use when I'm cloud chasing is 100% VG. The VG is where you're going to get your plumes. You're going to get your dense, thick vapor. You got your best shot at winning those competitions with VG. PG is more of a flavor carrier. Okay, it's more for those flavor junkies. Like I said, I'm a flavor junkie. But for cloud chasers, someone who likes to compete, go to these vaping events, go to these brick and mortars, and chuck the biggest clouds, stick to VG. The type of mod you are using. Very important. Right now, I'm using a Cloud Chasers Incorporated unregulated box mod. Been using this thing for the past 3 weeks, and I can say this thing hits harder than any other mechanical mod that I own. Harder than the 24 karat gold plated V3 flip, harder than the Pegasus. The voltage drop on this is ridiculously low. It's so low that I can't even meter it on my voltage meter. That's how low it is. It takes forever to notice a battery sag because there's 2 18650. 2 26 milliamp hour 18650 batteries in here. It's a beast. Got a full review coming on this bad boy, by the way. When you're using a tube mod, make sure there's no springs in the 510 connection or the switch, because where there's springs, there's voltage drop. The more voltage drop that your mod has, it won't hit as hard. The less voltage drop, the harder it will hit. Now, if you're the type of chaser, you can take 7-second hits. Not many people I know can take 7-second hits. 7 seconds is a freaking beastly hit. If you could take 7-second hits, then an average voltage drop may not hurt you, because the longer you take a hit, the more vapor that's going into your lungs, which means you're going to be able to blow out more vapor, which means you're going to have a bigger cloud. But for most guys, you need a mod that hits hard. Right when you hit that button, you get that vapor. And the more vapor, the bigger clouds, once you have the techniques down. So that concludes segment 1 of Cloud Chasing 101 Part 1. In the second segment, we're going to go over coil builds. I'm going to show you guys how to do a sleeper build, a dual sleeper build, build using G-Plat, 22 gauge G-Plat. I'm going to go over body posture / inhale, exhale techniques, and I'm going to go over wicking. So stay tuned for that. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.